Hello and welcome to Roosevelt Rebel with your host Tisa Rebel Beltran. Oh man, it's been a long day. I was gonna record yesterday, but I got super busy with the Day of the Dead festival and homework. So I wasn't able to post. And the day before I was with what did I do? I don't even remember. Oh wait, I worked and went over to Candace's house. So we watched. We cried. We laughed. We watched the Selma Blair documentary on was it Paramount Plus? It was rough. Her and I were fucking just crying, and then we'd laugh, and then she'd like slap my face at one moment and said, "Don't look at me." Oh, good times. It was a really good time. Oh shoot! Don't mind that noise. It's just a water bottle. So my homework this week at school in my criminal profiling class was about psychopaths. So I took the test. If you listen to the little teaser, I took the test to see if I was a psychopath or a narcissist or had some kind of mental, what did they call it? I should have wrote it down. I think it starts with an H. But good news, I don't. I am not a psychopath. I am not a narcissist. I have no mental illnesses on the list that I was tested for. And so that's a good thing. But I also have worked really hard on myself for the past 5 years. I'm always working myself no matter what. And that's one thing one of my good friends used to tell me, was that I was the person that was always working on herself. If somebody was like, "Hey, you're acting this way, this isn't like healthy," I would be like, "Oh, thank you for bringing it to my attention, and I'll work on it." But if it was something that I already knew that I was working on, and let's just say, I don't even know what I was gonna go there. I'm sorry, my allergies are freaking blown up in my eyes right now. I was at the cemetery with my dad. He had to do a rosary at the chapel there at the mortuary, and I had to take him because he can't drive at night, and it was gonna be dark by the time he was let out. So I hung out in the cemetery for a little bit and visited, just visited. And then, oops, sorry about that. I didn't turn it off correctly. I visited, and then I sat in the car for a little bit. He was in there for like 45 minutes. So it was very windy tonight, and because I'm out in the cemetery, and so like right by the cemetery, just like all the dust and the grass and everything, just my eyes are so itchy, and I don't think I have anything for that. Like, I think it's been out in the car for the summer, so it's no bueno. So my eyes are itchy, and it's bringing a little confusion because, when you can't think, when like, I don't know if it's anybody else or it's just an ADD thing where like there's certain things and you focus on that and you can't focus on something else sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, but even when I'm wearing a mask, it's really hard to focus sometimes and hear, like, because I have this mask over my face, and sometimes it's hard for me to hear, and sometimes it's hard for me to see, and it's just like I'm in this little fishbowl kind of sometimes. I know it's probably just my ADD and just some kind of overstimulation, because it's on my face, It's gotten better over time, over the past almost 2 years of wearing a mask. So that's a good thing. But, so about psychopaths, I've had to do a lot of homework recently, for the past 2 semesters, oh no, 3 semesters, because I keep taking the same teacher. She's amazing at Western New Mexico, doing criminal profiling and serial killers, just like all these great courses. And she's a great teacher. She works for the FBI or works with them, one or the other. She's just amazing. And so I just love her lectures. I just love everything about her. She's amazing. And she's very understanding when things go on her students' lives, and she's just like, oh, I understand, just give me a heads up. So I love her. And I'm sorry for all the background noise. There was, if you live in Phoenix, Arizona, the I-17 westbound and eastbound was closed. So like everybody on the 10 right now trying to get onto the 17, it was so backed up. So I'm sure there's accidents galore, because on our way back home from the mortuary cemetery chapel, everything, there was just a lot of ambulances out and about. Alright, and since I live in the hood, you will be hearing the music from the neighbors bumping, and that's okay. Do not hesitate. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit about the Day of the Dead festival yesterday. It was beautiful. Now if you go to Rebel Riot's website, you'll be able to see some of the pictures that I took there of this ceremony that they opened in the beginning, and it was so powerful and it was so beautiful, and just the smell and the everything that was going on. It was just the burning of the herbs and just everything. It was just such a release of, it's the holidays coming up. So the Day of Dead holidays coming up. We need to get our ofrenda, up. Last year I didn't, because we were in the middle of moving. So this year though, I'm getting one up. I'll probably put it on my altar probably. But also, it was just a beautiful experience. Like every year that I would go, I wouldn't go right in the beginning, I don't think, if I can remember. But I was right, this year was just in the beginning, so I saw the opening ceremony, and it was just a small, and it was small compared to most years, and it was at Indian Steel Park, because then I found out later on during the day that there was a bigger one out at Mesa, out in Mesa, in one of the, where the symphony is, out there. So if I would have known that, I would have went to both of them, like hit that one and then went out to that one. But good thing I didn't, because I had homework, and then I got home, because I didn't really look at it. I was like, okay, it's just Psychopaths, and this is what I need to do the night before, because I was exhausted. Oh, no, because I was at Candace's. And then, so the next day I was like, okay, I need to get this shit done. I need to do my homework. And so I looked at it, and I was like, shit, this is a lot of work. But it was about psychopaths. So I did some of the work the night before at Candace's house, doing the psychopath test. And I'm not a psychopath. I don't have any serial killer vibes, so that's a good thing. And I'm not a narcissist. And I'm not, whatever the third thing was. I wish I could get on there right now and look. So last week I had to do a profile on a serial killer, and I did it on, Candace helped me pick him. Like, thank God for Candace, because I was like, I don't know who to do. And she was like, do it about Samuel Little. I'm like, and she's like, let's watch it now. So she put it on. And then this weekend, I had to choose either to do analyze somebody that I know. Believe me, I was so tempted to do this one. Analyze somebody I know, but they have to already be diagnosed. So it couldn't be like, well, this motherfucker, I think they have this. So I couldn't do that. They had to already be diagnosed. So I decided to do it on H.H. Holmes. And I think this is like the second semester that I've done H.H. Holmes, because he was America's first known serial killer and psychopath. This man, let's That's what I'm saying. Ugh. He had no empathy, no conscience. He didn't give any shits. He was only about himself and money. And if you don't know anything about him, there's many, many different podcasts and movies and documentaries. There's just so much about him out there because he was the first known American serial killer. And then there's also rumored to be that he is actually his ancestor is Jack the Ripper. So there's that's a rumor, but a lot of people are like debunking it and saying there's no way and all this other shit. So it was about psychopaths this week, and so I wrote a little bit down about psychopaths. So there's a lot of that has to do with psychopaths and with personality disorders. Personality disorders are so controversial though because the symptoms overlap with each other. So, you have to be looked at, and there's the low, there's the mid, there's the high level of symptoms that could help with a diagnosis, but, it takes a long time to get a diagnosis. Just like with kids, anybody under the age of 18, it's really hard to get a diagnosis because they're still growing. So a lot of the times they won't diagnose children with schizophrenia or any major things unless they're older because they're still growing and hormones affect your whole entire body. Your chemistry's all fucked. So it takes a lot. And there needs to be a lot of they need to be diagnosed, they need to be watched, they need to be talked to, they need to be analyzed before you can make a big decision on that. And so that's why usually it's not until like you're after the age of 18 that you get a diagnosis, and sometimes even in your late 30s. But here's a little fact that autism is, going back to autism, because these are things that have affected my life and things that I know a lot about because I'm in school for these things. Autism isn't very much diagnosed in your 20s at all. If the symptoms weren't there when you were a child, and then your 20s and 30s, those years are totally not in my 20s and 30s, pretty normal because of what you're doing. You're learning to be an adult and all that. So there's a lot of late diagnosis of autism. And other disorders because in those years we're doing a lot of other shit. So that's why with psychopaths, there's so much to it. Oh man, psychopaths have a long list of symptoms, and H.H. Holmes was one of those motherfuckers that fucking had every single one to the T. No empathy. He thought laws didn't apply to him. He was a fucking he fucking did insurance fraud. He murdered. He fucking killed people for their bodies to sell it to get money for science, because he went to help him go through medical school. When he was a child, though, he was his parents mentally and emotionally abused him, and so he wouldn't want to be home, so he would go hang out in the fucking forest by his house, and he would kill and mutilate and fuck and dissect animals. So first signs there. Whew, I just got bad thoughts and ideas about things, but pushing him out. That's kind of like my thing today with one of my friends. She was like, I wish you would, she was like, in the morning she messaged me, she's like, you need to promise me something, and or can you do me a favor? And I was like, oh, okay, what? And she's like, promise me you're gonna have a good day. And I was like, I will try. So we've been doing this whole, we're pushing out the bad thoughts, because we get angry, because we talk about things, and she gets angry, and I'm just like, let's push it out. We're pushing it out. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're pushing it out. Any of the bad thoughts, today's going to be a good day because it's a bones day. It's a bones day. And we're going to freaking take any curse words out of our mouths that are negative and have a negative connotation, which means any words that